A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa and atimmu tamim, which means tamam, complete and complete. Al hajja, the hajj. Wal umrata, and umrah, and mimra is the root, which also means age and population. Lillahi, for Allah. So wa atimmu al hajja wal umrata lillahi. So complete the hajj and umrah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first part means it's just an emphasis that when you make the niyyah, when you make the intention for Hajj or Umrah, then you have to take it seriously that all the manasik, all the parts within that intention are supposed to be completed. You cannot just leave things and think that, oh, this is too difficult, or it's I don't think I can finish this, or for whatever reason you don't complete. You have to take it seriously and complete, because for salah it's easy. We just make the intention and we start, and we are not doing anything else till we end it with a salam, right? Until we say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So that keeps us within inside of the salah, and we end up completing it. But with Hajj and Umrah, people probably would just make the intention and they would not do all the parts of it. They might think, I've done the tawaf and I did the nafal. I don't think I need to do the sa'i. It's too difficult for me. Or for Hajj, maybe they will go to Mina and Muzdalifah and not go to Arafat. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that we should complete the Hajj and Umrah once we make the intention. And this is not just for Hajj and Umrah. This is like the attitude towards anything that we make the intention, any project, any worship, anything that we need to do. If you remember, it is also and complete the count of fasts in Ramadan. So we have to also complete. We don't have to act irresponsible about, okay, I'll fast as many days I can, and I will see about that. Or if we count the number of fasts that we are not able to complete in Ramadan, we are supposed to make sure that outside of Ramadan we do complete that count, because that is important, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has urged us to do that. So over here it is the same thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off by telling us that we are supposed to complete the Hajj and Umrah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what does the for Allah mean? Also, because not for showing off, not for showing people that we go for Umrah every year, but it should be purely and sincerely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now the next part we are still in the ayat number 196. Fa, and then, in, if, sirtum, ha swadra means like if you're controlled, if you're held back, or if somebody has restrained, something like that, okay, like wrapped, or you're surrounded. So hisar means to have circled by somebody, and over here it means that if you are, for whatever reason, if you're held back, like something like this happened with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions as well in the Hudaybiyah. And we see that these kind of things keep happening also to people sometimes, because of the visa or the passport or mehram issue, or if the flights get changed, if there is if people have made the intention but there is a disease or illness, just like COVID happened, and many people probably who had gone for Umrah and they were not allowed to enter Haram, or something like that happens. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions over here a scenario when anyone is trying to go with the intention of Umrah or Hajj, and if they are not able to do it, then what should they do? So fa in sirtum, if you are held back, fama, then whatever, meaning then do offer or do whatever istaysara. Yasar, the root is yasinra, which means easy. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, and do whatever you can do with ease, however much you can do, because sometimes women also, they go and then they have a flight back in a few days and they get their periods and they're not able to complete their Umrah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it easy for us, and Allah mentions that do whatever you can do with ease, minal hadiy, and of the, like, send the sacrifice animal for sacrifice. Wala, and do not. Tahliku, ha lam qaf means to shave. Ru'usakum, your heads. Ru'us, ra hamza sin, and kum, your heads. So what you're supposed to do when you're not able to even perform the umrah or hajj, you just whatever animals you've brought, just like in olden times, people would bring the animals with them for the sacrifice. Nowadays, people, if they buy packages and they have already paid for the animal, or if they have not already done that, then they can send the money. Some scholars say this is about Mina, and some say that it could be in whichever airport you're stuck and you find out that you're not allowed to go further on. So in any case, you're supposed to sacrifice an animal, or you're supposed to pay for it, and then you're not supposed to shave your head till you know that the animal must be sacrificed. Okay, so till the animal reaches its ground where it will be sacrificed, and it is sacrificed, because remember, this head shaving was supposed to be done at the end of ihram, right? When you come out of ihram, the last thing is to get your hair cut or to get your head shaved. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that even if you're not able to, it's okay. You just sacrifice the animal and or send your animal for sacrifice and then shave your head. So far so good. Okay. وَلَا تَحْلِقُوا رُؤُوسَكُمْ حَتَّى unless until يَبْلُغَ بَلَغَيْن, which means it reaches al-hadyu, the sacrificial animal, mahilla, ha lam lam, where the place for it to get halal, where it is going to be slaughtered. So don't cut your hair or don't shave your hair till it reaches the place of its slaughter. So it is slaughtered. Faman, then whoever. So now till here there is one scenario. You're not allowed to do umrah or hajj for whatever reason. Then you will at least sacrifice the animal and then shave your head. The second scenario will talk about a situation where you can't wait, whether or like regardless of whether you did your umrah or not, but you had to get your hair cut or your head shaved before you could not wait till getting out of ihram because of some disease or some problem with the head, maybe some accident, or maybe there is some injury and the doctor needs to cut the hair or shave that area and put stitches in there. So now the second part is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps us solve a problem where somebody, what if that person has to get his head shaved or hair cut before it is time. Okay, so let's see. Faman, then whoever, kana is, minkum, among you, maridan, mim ra dad marada, ill, au, or bihi, he has, adhan is any kind of adiyat or any kind of difficulty, hamza, zalia, any ill, any disease, min of ra'sihi, ra hamza sin, his head. So if somebody is ill or somebody has any problem, any injury, anything going on with the head, for then, so that this is understood in this part only. Then if they have to get their hair cut before the time, before the animal is cut, before it is time to get out of the ihram, then what should that person do for breaking that rule of ihram? For then fidyatun, a ransom. So they have to give a fidya. And now there are three options for the fidya. Okay, min siyamin, of fasting. So there are three fasts from the hadith we know. Aw, or sadaqatin, or charity. So he's supposed to either feed 6 people. Aw, or nusukin, or one animal, sacrificing an animal. So what are the three kinds of fidya? So when what we call dam is, we only think in terms of the last option, which is sacrificing an animal. Over here it seems like that if something goes wrong from the rulings of ihram, then it looks like that a person can do 3 siyam, 3 fasts, or feed 6 people, or sacrifice one animal. These could all be the options. For iza, then when, amintum, hamza mim nun, aman means peace. And then when that person is in peace, for example, if they are out of that situation, faman, then whoever, tamatta'a. So now this is like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that, for example, that person is in peace, meaning from the above two things that we studied, it seems like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not made it an obligation for the person that you have to come next year and do your umrah and do your hajj, because from even the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam who were with him in Hudaybiyah, then the next year some of them came and some of them did not. This is also a proof that it's not like people who make an intention but they were not able to do it, it is they're bound to do it. No. So it looks like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that when that person is in aman, in peace, meaning now, for example, in other times next year this person also decides to go again, then what should that person do? Faman, then whoever, tamatta'a, mim ta'ain mata'a means advantage, and also tamatta is one of the three types of hajj. Okay, you don't have to memorize all these things, because inshallah if you will be going for umrah or hajj, you will learn all these things in training, but I will just mention it so you understand what is happening over here. So there are three types of hajj. One is firat, one is qiran, one is tamatta. So firat is the lonely, you can understand this, try just to remember, it is the mainly it is for locals, it is hajj only, not umrah not included. They just go on 8th Zulhijjah and then they do hajj. People who are traveling from abroad, they could be doing qiran or tamattu, maybe, because if they are there long time before hajj going to start, because hajj is done in specific days, right? Umrah is not done in specific days. So if they have a lot of time, they might do umrah, wear ihram, do umrah, and then end the ihram, and then after a few days when the hajj time starts, they can wear the ihram again and they do the hajj. That is hajj tamattu, where they take the mata, they take the advantage of the time, and they mata means advantage, so they take the advantage of the time and they do both with their own ihram, right? And then there is qiran, where it is connection. Okay, so when they have just enough time to do umrah and then do the hajj in the same ihram, they don't have time to, they don't take off the ihram and they don't like end one ihram and start the other. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that if the person has time next time, they can take advantage, they should take advantage. It is just a recommendation that it is okay to take advantage to do umrah as well with the hajj, as you can see in this sentence. فَإِذَا أَمَنْتُمْ, if they are in peace next year, for example, فَمَنْ, so then تَمَتَّعَ بِالْأُمْرَةِ, so they take advantage of the umrah ilal hajj, towards the hajj. Because this was also the in old times, in the times of Jahiliyyah, when the people would come for hajj, they did not think that it was a very good idea to do hajj and umrah at the same time. They thought that it was disrespectful for the haram. They do both in the same trip. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes sure to tell us over here that that's not a case. If you're traveling, you can do both the worships in the same trip. Then let's study further on. Fama, then whatever istaysara, yasin ra again, it is easy. Minal hadyi, then sacrifice the animal as it is easy for you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is explaining that again you have to sacrifice the animal for the umrah and hajj that you do. And as I said already, you guys don't have to memorize the names of the types of hajj or what exactly you have to do when and what to do and how. to shave the head, and so these things are all, you can get those answers when you will be getting the training. This is to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned everything in Quran, so we do not feel like, okay, if something goes wrong, that's the end of the day. So let's get back here. Faman, but whoever, lam, cannot. So now what happens when you do Hajj and Umrah both next year and you do not have the animal, or you cannot afford to sacrifice an animal? So what should you do? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the options. Faman lam, so whoever cannot, yajida comes from wajad, or jim dal, which means cannot find or cannot have, cannot afford. For then siyamu, they should do fasting. Salathati ayami, Salata is 3 ayami days, 3 days fil hajji, during the hajj. Wa, and sab'atin, 7 days, ida, when raja'atum, when you return. So it looks like that people who do hajj and umrah and they do not have the animal for sacrificing, or they cannot afford that, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them that they have to do 10 fasting, 3 of them before hajj and 7 after they come home, when after the hajj, when they come back home. Okay. Fil hajji wa sab'atin, and 7 is a rajatum, when you come back. Tilka, this, asharatun is 10 days, kamila, total. Okay, kamal, kaf mim lam, kamal, mukammal, total 10 days. Zalika, that, liman is for the one who, lam, not, yakun is ahluhu, his family, hadiri, present, hadir, al masjid al haram, at the near the masjid al haram. So this is not for the locals. Okay, this is for the people who are traveling, especially for hajj and umrah. Wattaqullaha, and fear Allah. Wa'alamu, and have the knowledge, ain lam mim is the root, anna allaha, indeed Allah, shadidul iqab, he is shadid, he is severe, iqab, in retribution. So we see that in this ayat the theme is that if there is a problem, because things will not go as planned when you're traveling, even when you're traveling for vacation, things don't always go as planned. You wanted to book a certain kind of hotel, you end up somewhere else. You wanted to do these many activities, you couldn't do them, or you ended up doing something really different and really much better than you had planned and you didn't even know. So things will happen differently because this worship is related to travel. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentally preparing us that things might go wrong or as not as planned, and it is okay. There is a solution for things. You do not have to think that okay, everything went bad and I have to repeat it next year. Because for the Ramadan, if you're not able to do the siyam, you're supposed to repeat, or you're supposed to do those, count those fasts and do it, right? But for Hajj or Umrah, you don't have to repeat the qada. You only have to do the fidya, or the fasting, or feeding, or sacrificing the animal. And that is all the things mentioned over here. And that end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the most important thing is taqwa. Remember that you should have the taqwa for Allah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is shadidul iqab. Main thing is that is important is the taqwa. Then we will do ayat number 197. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions al-hajju, for the hajj, ashharun, shim hara, it means months, are the months, ma'lumat, ain lam mim, are the known months. For hajj are the known months. Faman, then whoever, farada, decides, or faraz, who makes it farad upon themselves, meaning who makes the intention, fihinna, inside, al-hajja, for the hajj, fala. So in this ayat we will see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us not to do on the hajj, and what are the things to do for the hajj prep. Okay, the 3 things that we are not supposed to do for the hajj, also very important, because again, keep in mind, this is Allah is giving us some information about the Hajj, and as I told you, it's not the sequence here, because sequence and everything else we learn from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's hadith. Over here, Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala gives us, relaxes us that things will not always go as planned, but these are the important things, that these are the the bits, the things that we have to have in our when we are preparing, where mentally Allah is mentally preparing us for things. So the three things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us not to do when we are doing Hajj is, so fala, then no, rafatha, sexual relations, and this sexual relations also includes not having those kinds of talks, or not having any kind of imagine like so many people are in that ground, in the same place, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes sure that you're all going to be there together on the same land. So you should understand, no such looks, no such talks, no that kind of touching. It's not just between the husband and wife, but it is for any kind of. Then the second thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions is wala, and no, fusuqa. Fa, sin, qaf. Fasaq means to have any kind of evil things, to fight, or any creating problems for others, or making things difficult for others, or any kind of wickedness or any kind of evil things. So don't do things where it will create a problem for others. Imagine again the huge crowd for Hajj or Umrah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in mentally preparing us, is telling us that there should be no rafasa, there should be no fusuk. Remember that when you go there, this is mostly the test of patience, because financially and time wise you're giving both those things, but still that won't be enough, because financially, if only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had to test us financially, we do give zakat. If from our time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to see, we do fasting in Ramadan, we take out time 5 times a day for salat. But this is mostly a test of patience, because people from all over the world, all types of education level, all types of financial levels will be there. People will have different kinds of manners, different kinds of cultures, different ways of walking and talking and getting in line and all those things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, wala fusuka, don't do things which are going to be inconvenient or hurtful for others. Don't dirty the bathrooms. Don't break the lines. Don't throw food over here and there. Don't do things which are bad, okay? And the third thing is wala jidal. So as I already said, jidal means fight and quarreling and just arguments. So when thousands of millions of people are collected, right, then what is the chance? What will happen? People will be fighting everywhere. You pushed me. No, this was my turn. This was my place. No, I was supposed to stand here. And why did you throw this? Why are you doing this? So all these kinds of things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that this is a test of patience. If somebody else does wrong, what are you supposed to do? Not argue, not fight. Just keep going. Okay, so these are really important things, and people should keep in mind that this is most important for the Umrah and Hajj, because in the ayat number 196, Allah already told us that even if your something is not complete, you do have a solution for doing the fasting and for giving charity and feeding the poor and stuff. But these things are very important that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala separately mentions them. So فَلَا رَفَثَ وَلَا فُسُوقَ وَلَا جِدَالَ فِي الْحَجِّ, in the Hajj. Now what is Allah saying? Wama, and whatever, taf'alu, fa'ailam, you do, fail means work, min khairin, from the good, ya'lamhu Allahu, knows Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the Muslims that of course you will be doing many, many good things. And when we are trying to be patient, when we are trying not to be difficult for others, when we are trying to make things easy for others, when we are helping others, we are trying to feed someone, or we are just, if somebody drops something, we pick it up and give it to them, or tell the way to somebody, or help them with finding the gate, or help them finding the elevator or the bathroom. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows any khair that you are doing. Nothing goes to waste. everything good that you're doing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will have the knowledge of that. Wa and tazawwadu, zai waw dal. It means the provision, in Urdu we say zadhira. So, and take the zaud with you, take the provision with you. So when you are even preparing for the vacation, you do take clothes according to the weather, you do take some money, you do take some food for the way, you do take things that you will need over there, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions do take provision, because again, one of the things that was supposed to be considered bad in old times was that, oh, you're going for Hajj and Umrah and you're talking about taking these many clothes with you and these things, the phone and the charger and all these things. That is so bad. You should not be thinking about things when you're going for Hajj and Umrah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over here tells us, don't do that. You should take things with you, because you have to make your visit, when you have to make this worship comfortable for yourself and for the others. Because if you don't take things, you will be making it inconvenient for the others. You will get hungry, you will be asking food from others, and you will be asking for comforters from others, and you will be asking for phone chargers from others, and many other things, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala corrects the Muslims people that you should take watazawwadu, should take provision, fa inna, and indeed khair az-zad taqwa. The khair means best, Zad means provision, again the same root, and taqwa. So Allah is saying, out of all the things that you will take with you, taqwa is the best thing that you can take with you. Keep in mind, this journey is all about your test and how close you are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how much you want to do your best. Okay, so taqwa is so beautiful. This is really very beautiful, that out of all the provisions that you take, taqwa is the most beautiful. So don't forget that. Keep in mind that is the most important, that should take the most in your bag. Wattaquni, and fear me. Same, waqi is the root, waqafya. Ya ulil albab, O people of albab, lam baba, understanding. O people who have brains, O people who think, that you should keep fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the next ayat 198, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also corrects some other misconceptions that were from the olden times, where they thought that it was a bad idea that if you go for Hajj, then you also think of selling and trading and doing some kind of business in the same trip. And Allah corrects that and says that it is perfectly fine as long as it does not interfere with your worship or the peak worship days. You are allowed to do that trading or selling and buying. So people can go for shopping. You should not just make them feel really bad about shopping if they go, but it should not be completely out of balance. People, we should know how much of percentage of our journey should be spent on what. And again, the best of the things is taqwa. So let's do ayat number 198. Laysa, not is, alaykum, upon you, junahun, any, junah, any, blame, any sin, an, that, tabtahu, baghi means to find, tabtahu, you find, you seek. There is no sin or blame upon you if you find, if you seek, fadlan. Fadl means bounty, or in this case to find money or to find ways of earning. Mir rabbikum, from your Rabb. Faiza, and when, afattum, you depart, meaning leave some place. Via dwad is the root. It also means to flow, overflow something. Okay, fez. And so when you are done from some place, meaning you're like you filled that place. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, over here you will see this afattum is used, the word faid is used for returning from somewhere or departing from somewhere. So fa'iza afattum, and when you depart, min arafatin, from Arafat, fazkurullaha indal mash'aril haram. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds them that when you depart from Arafat, then remember fazkurullah, then do the zikr of Allah in the near al-mash'aril haram, near the monument, the haram, the sacred monument. So some of the people when they would go for Hajj, the elitist of their tribes would not go up till Arafat, thinking that we are good till here. So they used to think that, okay, some people can go and some don't have to because of the crowd and health and whatever issues. And over here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that when you return from Arafat, it means that without Arafah, Hajj is not complete. Okay, without anything it could be complete, but without the Arafah, even if you reach in the evening, even if you reach for a very little time, it is not complete. So Fazkurullaha, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that when remember to mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do the zikr of Allah in the near Mash'aril Haram, so near the sacred monument, where Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has explained us in the ahadith, where in the Arafat that the khutbah is given. Waskuruhu, and remember him, kama, as, hadakum, he has guided you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as I already said, has guided us, given us more details through Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his sunnah. Wa, and in, though, kuntum, you were, min qablihi, from before it. So as you are given, like before, people would not they would just be busy talking about their own, family connections and what kind of business and trade they were in. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in this ayah that you are allowed to seek Allah's bounty, meaning you're allowed to do some trade and business. But while you are doing your Hajj and returning from Arafat, as you are guided, you're supposed to make the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La minaz zalin. So before, you guys were there were some people who went astray. So as I already said, that some people did the wrong thing. Some people would decide for themselves which manasik they want to do and which manasik they would like to skip. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains here that some people would be considered dhalin. Some people would be considered as they have gone astray if they don't perform the Hajj, some of the manasiks which are important as guided. Then ayat number 199, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds them again what is more important than just talking about their lineages and their business and trades and their number of sons and all that. Thumma, then, afidu, when you depart, fayadad, min haythu, from wherever. Afada nasu, depart the people. So wherever the people are departing from, meaning all the people have to go everywhere. You cannot just think that, oh, so many people are going there, I am not supposed to go where there is so crowded. I just go to places which are just most important. Allah is saying, so when you are returning from the place where all the people are returning. Okay, read it in this light. So ma afidu, when you depart, min haisu, from wherever, afadan nas, departing the people. So from wherever the people are departing, then you also depart. Then do what? Wastaghfirullah, and seek the forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ask for istighfar. And in any case, you know that on the day of Arafah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects or frees the biggest, huge numbers of Muslims. And the seeking astaghfar on the day of Arafah is a very big, huge blessing, and especially being in that ground. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that what should you do? Wastaghfirullah, ask forgiveness of Allah. Inna Allaha ghafurur rahim. Indeed, Allah is Ghafur. He's going to give you forgiveness, and Rahim, he's the one who is merciful. So people are reminded that this is a day and place for asking for forgiveness, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ready to give you forgiveness, and he is ready to be merciful on you. Now in this ayat 200, we see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells them, I thought it was in the previous ayat in 199 that Allah reminds them not to keep talking about their forefathers, but it is in ayat number 200. We see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that people, what is the attitude of people? Even today, it has become like a hangout place, and people are just getting like all 20-30 types of dishes to eat in big giant hotels, and then they're just sitting on the sofas and talking, and it's very weird to find that they are also like they have TV rooms and everything also within Mina. So the thing is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds them over here not to just sit in the sofas and talk about their forefathers, and not just keep asking the dua for this dunya, but in the next ayat we are reminded what we should be asking. So ayat number 200, Fa'iza, and when qadaytum, you complete, qada, qafi, dad, yeah. So when you complete manasikakum, your manasik. Mansak means the acts of worship. The nusuk means all the steps of worship. Fazkurullaha, then do the zikr of Allah. So you see in this whole theme in the lesson today, we see taqwa, you fearing Allah, and astaghfar, and the zikr of Allah. Those are the main things we see that during this journey. Sometimes people are just busy complaining, judging others, glaring at, giving them different those kinds of looks, and getting upset with people and all these things. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to stay busy with astaghfar and the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to have taqwa, right? So Allah mentions over here, فَإِذَا قَضَيْتُمْ manasikakum. So when you're done with all the acts of worship, فَاسْكُرُوا do the zikr of Allah, ka just zikrikum, just as you do the zikr of aba'akum, of your forefathers. Just like you're used to sitting and, oh, now we're done with Hajj, and bring those teas and coffees and food, and let's just talk about where you're coming from and which country are you from, and oh, we have these businesses and we are doing this and that. No, because the tribes that used to come from all over the place, this is what they used to collect. The Hajj was just an excuse. This is what they would do, the networking. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds them this is not the time. And you should remember Allah just like you remember your forefathers. Or ashadda, or even greater, or even like to more degree, zikran, you should remember Allah. For then, min, from, annasi, the people, mayakulu. So this the next part tells us that even they don't just talk about their forefathers and their families, the duas that they also ask are only related to this material world. Only the good things here, and we want the houses here, and we want to travel here, and we want the promotion here, and we want the businesses like this, we want my children to do this and study here and get married to this person and that, and all the things of this world, all the things in this dunya. So let's see this dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that, what do they say? Rabbana, oh my Lord, our Lord, atina, give us, because it's na, so it's us, on our. Grant us fid dunya, in this world, wama, and not lahu. So this is what people ask. If you want to see in terms of the quotation marks, it would be Rabbana atina fid dunya. So they make the dua that, oh our Rabb, grant us the dunya. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds and lets us know, Wama lahu fil akhirati min khalaq. Wama, and not, lahu, for him, fil akhirati, in the akhirah. Then of course such people who only ask for the duas of this dunya, for the akhirah, what will happen? Min khalaq. They will not have any khalam qaf, any share, any piece, any part. So they will not get anything from the akhirah. On the other hand, in ayat number 201, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us what is the wiser people's dua. What is the dua that should be made? وَمِنْهُمْ, and from those, مَن يَقُولُ, those who say, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنًا. O our Rabb, grant us فِي الدُّنْيَا, in this dunya, hasana. Hasan means best. وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ hasana, and in the akhirah also hasana. Waqina, and save us, the root is waqi. Azab an-nar, save us from the punishment of the fire. So the wise people make the dua three parts. They make for dunya, for the akhirah, and for the saving from the fire as well. And in ayat number 202, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comments on their dua. Ulaika, these are the people, lahum, for them, nasibun, nun, swad, ba. Remember, for the other kinds of people in ayat number 200, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said they will not have any khalaq, any peace, any share in the akhirah. Over here in ayat number 202, Allah says for these people there is nasib. Ulaika lahum nasibun bimma, from what kasabu they earned. Wallahu, and Allah, sari'ul hisab, is swift in taking account. So they will earn more. Why? Because they ask for more. They ask for dunya, they ask for akhirah, and they will ask for protection from the fire. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, depending on their amal, their good actions, they will earn, they will have the nasib, they will have the parts and share from whatever they can earn because of their actions as well. Waskurullaha. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this last ayat for today mentions the Ayam Tashriq. Ayam Tashriq are which ones? After the Eid, the 11, 12 and 13. So in this ayat we will see Allah mentions that those who can stay for 2 days only and they have to go, that is fine as well. Those who want to stay longer, that is fine as well. Okay, so let's see ayat number 203. Waskurullaha, and do the zikr of Allah fi in ayamim ma'dudat, in the ayam, in the days. Ma'dudat comes from adad, which means counted. Okay, the numbered days, the ayam tashriq. Faman, then those who, ta'ajjal, ain jim lam, means in the ujlat, in the hurry, those who are in a rush, in a hurry, fi, in yawmaini, in 2 days. So those who are in a rush and they have to leave in 2 days. Fala, then not, ithma alayhi. Ithma means sin, alayhi, upon them. There is no sin upon them if they want to leave in 2 days. Waman, and whoever, ta'akhar, hamza khara akhar, those who delay, fala ithma alayhi, and then there is no sin upon them. So it's not anything to like that you have to stay for these many days. Liman ittaqa, for the one who fears. So basically taqwa is the main thing, whether you stay for 2 days or for longer, it does not matter. The thing that matters is your taqwa, not showing off that, oh, you're living in just 2 days. That was a short trip for Hajj, and judging people that, oh, they just came here for just those 5-6 days of Hajj, and look at me, I need to stay here for 15 days and 10 days and stuff like that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that it is the taqwa that matters, whether the trip is short or long. Wattaqullaha, and have taqwa of Allah. Wa'alamu, and have the ilm, have the knowledge. Annakum, that you, ilayhi, towards him, tuhsharun, ha, shin, ra, will be gathered. So we should all remember that in the end we will be all gathered towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so our intentions should be pure, and whatever we do in Hajj and Umrah, everything should be linked to taqwa, fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and knowing that Allah can see all our deeds.